Hello and welcome to Magic of Boots, 34th episode. This is Rohan Mazumdar. I have Shudipta with me. We both were busy and not recording for a couple of weeks. How are you doing, Shudipta?
Yeah, good evening. So far, so good. I think it is. I think we have passed our 1 year anniversary of this
Yeah,
channel.
let's celebrate whoever is watching and not watching with them. But yeah, it's actually great fit. Like it takes some kind of extra inspiration. Like nobody is watching our show, and it keeps going for 1 year. So
Yeah,
um,
exactly. And when I look back at the time, I thought it would be for I don't know, six
temporary.
months.
Yeah,
Yeah, or
yeah.
something like that. And we managed to pass
Yeah,
1 year.
yeah, that's
Uh,
quite an
anyway,
achievement. Yeah, that's quite an achievement.
yeah,
Feel
without
feel
any
feel
viewers.
proud of each other. Uh, okay, so a lot has been happened since we recorded the last one. If I'm not wrong, we haven't actually covered even UEFA Champions League final. There was a bit of uh, how should I put it that even before the Champions League final, there was a big saga of Mbappe transfer that didn't happen. I mean, and then obviously there's a Copa America and Euro winners, La Finalissima, and then there's a bit of friendlies and Nations League going on as well.
Yeah, there are also a whole bunch of interviews. Uh,
Yeah,
and Mourinho won first ever coach as a first ever coach to win what
Champions
is
League,
what
Europa League, and the Conference
yeah,
League. So
Conference
just
League.
we are hopeful in case in future there if there is any kind of relegation league starts in Europe, and hopefully Mourinho even competes for that. So that would be an
Actually,
incredible
it's not.
achievement actually. Three,
Yeah,
four.
yeah. Well, like it's not like a bad thing, or I would say when I thought about it, like after our last episode. Um, yeah, last episode we discussed so much about that sort of stuff, or joking around and stuff
Yeah,
like that. But when I thought about it, like if you remember, we covered an episode about lonely players from like Atlanta or some other clubs. There were a few talents still playing around the world, and it would gain some sort of like an European experience for those sort of players. At least like top 500 players or 300-400 players are playing in the first two level, and some other players like up and coming, they could have actually had chance to like show themselves in the European turf or something like that.
no, it is. It
And
is.
yeah, so like and also it would for example, if you remember, Chelsea um, own Champions League and Europa League probably back to back or something like that, um, or around 2-3 years.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But the problem with that Chelsea team, or I already brought these things to light in our last episode. Like it's so hard for an English club to win both league and European championships altogether because of the intensity and physical aspect of the game. Um, and when I thought about that, like I think like some clubs who are not currently playing in the uh, European League or like a Conference League or any other leagues, they have like in a way better chance to move forward in the league, and so like it would broaden the, how can I say, like squad length at least for like 10 clubs for each of the five leagues, like top 10 teams at least.
That's a
They will try to get.
yeah. That's definitely a positive side, but um, can we focus on negative side too? Because this mid-table team normally are
Mm.
stiff competition for the top teams in the league. And if the match frequency goes more, I mean, does this team have the capacity to fight that intensely in the league? One, and second, there's a lot of question mark about players' health and the match frequency as well. Um, you're putting, yes, a lot more development and a lot more up and coming players going to be played, but then uh, it's going to be too hectic of a schedule for certain teams, right?
Yeah. Also, especially right after the COVID crisis, we saw how Sevilla played in the first half of the season and how they fall from there.
They almost
Um,
enter first 11 like how 7 8 players were injured.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it would be hard at least like in this year or the next season. Whole yeah, for
And
the whole
if you
season
if you
probably.
include all the Nations League and
Yeah.
in between all the friendlies and stuff like that, so that's quite a schedule hectic schedule for the players and the managers. I mean, if yeah, so but I think everything has positive and negative. I mean, it is what it is.
And I want to mention one thing. I am kind of agreeing with you. I want to give an example. We know about this squad depth of City and Liverpool. Like they are arguably one of the best teams right now.
At least in the
So
EPL, at least. Yeah.
yeah, at least like or in pen and papers or also as well. Like they have a big squad depth as well. But Liverpool is the only team who played all possible matches for a club to be played, like 62 matches. They could have won all four,
Yeah.
right? And but still, like playing 62 matches for like this is the highest you
For
can
a
go.
calendar year.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, for a calendar year. But still they couldn't match it. So I kind of agree with you in the sense like player safeties and intensity of the matches. But yeah, like but it's also sort of a good things. Like some mid-table teams have some sort of like a um, experience or something like that, and they could get or Roma is or anyone who is going to win Conference League probably they could have it will give them a boost to like a financial boost or something like that. I don't know. Could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. And it's something to cheer for because,
Yep.
hey, what's the last time Roma won anything? 2002 3? Serie A Scudetto?
Yeah. No, it was not Scudetto because oh
That
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
was
yeah.
the Batistuta year. That's
But yeah, that
his only
Totti
Scudetto.
was the false nine. Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, gives a team to celebrate. That's
yeah.
also wonderful. But yeah, as we say, talking about Jose Mourinho, we started basically talking about some of the interviews. Jose Mourinho was very recently linked with the PSG job, as PSG is going through some overhauling and changes. But I guess he's turned it down.
Yeah. I saw the interview. Um, if you watched that interview right after the
Conference League win.
Conference League win, it was one of the best interview probably he have ever done so far.
Is it with Joe
Um,
Cole?
yeah, so far, yeah, Jopol,
Yeah,
it was with
yeah,
Jopol. Yeah, it was one of the best probably, and he was not like that guy we know, like,
yeah. Hmm.
and in some way he looks a little bit peaceful in this interview, and like he always try to make like try to bite someone, and in that interview at least he was not trying to bite anyone or anything, and he was accepting the facts and think like and what he said so far it feels like he's staying for at least one and another season, and so does Temi Abraham. and which is actually good for him. Like he's bringing some English talents from England to perform. And Roma is he was telling Cole like Roma is actually a pretty big club, at least for Italy. Like it has some sort of
History.
history. Yeah, and playing in this historical stadium, and as a player, English player especially, they don't uh, move to like even they don't go to Spain, not much, not that much actually.
Yeah.
So for them to come to Italy and performing, like so many players are performing really well. Like this AC Milan center back, he is called to the main team. Is brilliant. And so many other players are playing right now, and it shows some sort of a way, like to improve this league. And everyone was thinking about like what's wrong with uh, Italian football or something like that. And players like young players, especially like those two, um, they could actually they are now representing the leagues to the uh, and playing for AC Milan, Inter Milan is like it was a huge thing in 90s and even like 2000s. Um, and not so many players are not like called from England. If I so far I remember, I don't know. And not so many players are
Um,
successful as well.
well,
If you remember, I don't know.
except
I cannot say any name,
Paul
and I
Gascoigne,
was thinking,
Lazio.
huh?
Paul.
Yeah, that's a different case. um, yeah. So yeah, it is sort of an option for them to think about. And also like some second tier teams, they are producing brilliant players every year. And if instead of playing in the mid table team, they can actually play for like a mid table, sorry, less how can I say, like a playing for a team who are fighting for the how can I say, like
Relegation.
uh, relegation area. They can actually play in the uh, clubs like Atlanta or some other clubs and try to improve them. So it's sort of an option. I don't know.
Yeah. The, I hear you what you're saying, but the problem with the English young talents, I mean, they're getting too much money in English Premier League. If they move to a different country, it's not as lucrative money wise. So now it's a question whether they want to build their own talent or money, and then what's their particular goal is. Because in English environment, if a boy grows up, it's hard not to support certain club that they themselves seem
Uh,
associated with.
but but take on the English squad right now. Like how many players are coming through the youth systems of the English like big money clubs? Only two clubs are producing, Chelsea and Manchester City are producing players from their youth or like young players. Other than that, like no, not that much if you think about it. So they are getting at least like almost same amount of money and less gaming times in some English club. And
I totally hear you, but that's what I'm saying. The English players in English Premier League, because of the transfer policy, they have to be paid more to keep the players in England, right? And also
yeah,
there is certain passion for certain players within certain teams, which is not just English but anywhere. Say for example, if anybody is from Barcelona area, they would relate to Barcelona or Espanyol. If anybody is from Madrid, could be Atletico or Real Madrid, right? So there are certain emotions work for them. So, and it's not easy to move away for certain players. If they do, that's great. Um, People like Jose Mourinho might like attract a lot more than than someone like, you know, General Gattuso or someone like that.
Yeah, and yeah, I understand that, but well, that's an option, like what he mentioned so far in the
And
interview.
also there's the other part. The English media only focuses on English Premier League. Say
Yeah,
Conor Gallagher, whatever he's playing in Crystal Palace or say Madison in Leicester City, he can be one of the major players in any other league or any other team, right? One of the top teams, right?
yeah,
Wouldn't get the same highlights or focus compared to English Premier League.
yeah. That's the thing actually. Uh, but I don't know. Jude Bellingham or Sancho, they actually got a,
I,
got
I
a
yeah, I
medium
gotta
income.
admit that there's say if they both were not in Borussia Dortmund, like Borussia Dortmund is still kind of a glamorous club. Like
Yeah.
there's a some kind of history and tradition of this club. But if there's if they were playing for say someone like Union Berlin or any other German teams, would it be same exposure? Maybe in a year or two, maybe. But then again, it's a whatever Bellingham was getting is not as someone like Jack Grealish. Uh,
Ah, that's true,
yeah.
actually. But I don't know. I
I'm
don't have
just
actually
coming
much
with a
to add. We can go back
different
and forth.
argument. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So on that note, I thought that
Also, you mentioned the PSG coaching position. I
PSG
have,
sports director first. It was
yeah.
Leonardo, as we said.
I think it's a good decision actually. That guy brings Lille towards the champion.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are competing. They were competing at least for the last two seasons, and it would be it is a import signature statement. But also there are names like Marcelo Gallardo or
yeah.
Gallardo.
Gallardo, I think he's more committed to Rivera until the end of the season, so cannot bring
Yeah,
it right away. And it would be a weird choice given that I mean, Gallardo played on a PSG definitely, and he played on Monaco as well. But yeah, at this point, I don't know. He's not really stepped in into the European league. I mean, I'm not saying he cannot do it. Obviously, he can do it, but
but given his experience for like last 7 or 8 years,
9 years, is it? 8, 9 years.
9,
Yeah,
2013-14, I guess I would say.
yeah, it's
That's what
nine
I
years.
remember.
2022, we're sitting
Almost
there.
9 years,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, given his experience, I think like players, even like yeah, ex-players like Stevie Gerrard or Xavi, even like from Barcelona, or Frank Lampard, they got big chances. And given his signature, like they don't have yet signature. I'm saying about Stevie G or Frank Lampard, but my Marcelo Gallardo, he has like a complete philosophy or something like that. And if you want to build a club from the scratch
scratch.
or something like that, you need someone like that. I think that's what uh,
Yeah,
United is trying to do with
with
Ten
Ten Hag.
Hag.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think he's getting more. He will get more power than Van Gaal or
mm-hmm.
Mourinho or someone like whoever there was
Ole
before
Gunnar.
him. Yeah. Well, Ole Gunnar got actually a lot of support from men United players, especially in those in the
Supporters.
media. Yeah,
Yeah. No, yeah, Gashado would have been interesting, but I guess he doesn't want to leave before the Libertadores gets over and the season gets over. Um, I think right now it's Zinedine Zidane. That's what we're hearing the rumor. Um,
yeah. Right now, like at least for last 2 days.
yeah, so it would be interesting who'd end up there. But your thoughts on Mauricio Pochettino? I mean, he's regarded as one of the when Tottenham Hotspur went to the Champions League final, everybody thought he's the best Argentine coach out there in Europe, right? And all of a sudden, it didn't really looks like at this point it didn't really teams like Real Madrid somehow wanted him. Man United, possibly the two big names in the world football, wanted him, and then PSG got him, and then a
I actually
failure.
have a I actually have a nickname to, how can I say, like sweet coating his situation right now. He's like modern day Marcelo Bielsa.
Is it?
Yeah, I would say, but one of the problem with his decision making so far, if you remember, he don't take like big risk, and those managers who own something, at least UCL, there were big risk, at least when they are trying to build something or like build their career. If you remember, like Pep Guardiola, he took the false nine thing, which was brilliantly exposed. Mourinho is different, but he the match against Manchester United, if you remember, with Porto, uh, it was a complete, like a killing game plan, and for some reason we haven't seen, like except for Ajax match, I guess, with Tottenham, we haven't seen that much actually from Pochettino. So like he has to work on this those sort of like brilliant.
Well, you told about you name him kind of Marcelo Bielsa. I would name him as a like I've seen him doing fairly well for the small teams. I remember him doing well in Espanyol and was it Southampton? Southampton did really well,
Southern Run, yeah.
and also Tottenham. Tottenham when he's taken over first 2 years with the young kids was really good, right? Um, in my opinion, I guess he's fairly good with the fit, good under underdog teams. That's what my understanding at this point.
Yeah, so, sort of like Unai Emery.
Yeah, and also maybe a little bit of issue with man management when a bigger team has a star
Yeah,
power and everything.
yeah,
So that is a probably a issue.
yeah. Also, like he could have actually bench Neymar at the time, against Real Madrid. That could have actually changed the match. Who knows? Because Di Maria was the, if we mention these statistics, like he was the most second most probably the ball winning player on the final third uh, in Europe in last 5 years.
Yeah, and also Di Maria has been is out of PSG at this point and linked to different teams, including Barcelona, obviously, old good Barcelona. But let's not go through the Barcelona. And can we quickly go towards Champions League final and
Yeah,
mention about
yeah.
it, and then come back and probably cover some of the other matches that has happened.
Have you watched it?
The Champions League final.
Yeah.
No, that day I was moving my houses. I could not watch it, but I did watch highlights later on, like the extended highlights.
Uh, Yeah, I watched the first 60 minutes. It was awfully boring for
Yeah,
me, at least. Like there are lots of pointless passing, and Liverpool was like, there were two midfield players. They weren't actually like the match actually started like 30 minutes later, 30 or 35 minutes
and
later.
yeah, I was checking my Twitter because I was moving and I was looking at the
Mhm.
score, right, and there's nothing. And then I thought, what is it happening in Europe or is it in South America? Because that's happens in there, right?
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. thing was that like there were some issues. I don't actually get to the bottom of that actually.
Maybe they wanted to
Deep.
give a tribute to Copa Libertadores honors.
Yeah, mm, who knows? But before that, actually, they did not name Thiago because he was injured, and Henderson. They because these two names were shouldn't be in the. It's almost like if you remember 1998 World Cup with Ronaldo situations. Like they don't know the nature of their injury, and they were pretty sure before the match, like before this 30 minute pause, that Thiago is not going to play. Also, Henderson was in doubtful situation, and actually, eventually they made them to the first team and they played, and which I actually like. I was watching like Mane and Salah was cursing. Like normally those players like, move a little bit upward in the pitch, and wing backs joined them, and they create sort of a five in the middle to like create sort of a base for the up three attackers normally, but in that match, Salah, Mane, they were actually like there were some blocks in the middle, and Valverde, Cruz, or whoever playing in the midfield, they were actually like on their way. So like they had to drop, and the midfield looked so tired. They could not even bear. Like it was awful to watch, at least from the Liverpool perspective, because there were bunch of pointless passing, and whenever Real is getting the ball, it feels like there is going to be happen something going to be happen something going to be happen, and they played like so many um so many people said so many stuffs about this Real Madrid team, and they actually beat the English top three to win European Champions League.
Yeah,
So
English top three plus PSG.
English top three plus PSG. So um, who has like arguably the best attacks so far in the world? So uh, what gives? What gives? And the final match performance, it is so manageable. Like um, it feels like this. Okay, this is Ancelotti's team. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
in final game management it was brilliant, and I did not watch actually last 20 minutes. It was way late for me, but I watched the highlights after that. I like extended highlights, and
The one thing I
it,
was noticing was Trent Alexander-Arnold's. I mean, you kind of know that he will be targeted, or his space back in there would be targeted, and they did. I mean, Real Madrid, the transition and the quick movement of the players, and I think the intelligence of the attackers uh, is something. And then you come up with someone in top form, such as Thibaut Courtois, who saved a lot of a lot of good
yeah,
chances, I would say. Um, and certain days, I mean, there are certain players just performs way better than others. You're absolutely right about some of the movement of the Liverpool midfield, especially now. I see uh, more and more. I see Thiago in last couple of years in Germany, in Bayern Munich, and also I see in Liverpool some of the games. Sometimes I feel, I mean, he could have. I mean, let's move the ball forward rather than just moving it around. Sometimes it's kind of annoying. And Liverpool, sorry, the
it,
Real
it
Madrid team.
almost feels like a little bit showboating, you know.
Yeah, it almost feels like yeah, somewhat Neymar would do. like in a good mood. If Neymar is in a good mood, he showboats. And there's a very good statistics actually in Neymar. And when he's playing for Brazil, um, whenever their pass accuracy goes down like 0.13% when Neymar plays, in terms of collaboration with the Brazilian attackers. Um, that's just because sometimes he's just showboat. So it's a little bit of showboating. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, the thing I wanted to say, Real Madrid looked like Ancelotti team. I mean, that's a trademark Ancelotti. You have this Real Madrid team who are possibly not better side of any of those three English sides, and possibly even PSG is a better side in names at least. But they have beaten everyone, kind of very cleanly, and with
And they
all,
have, I would say like they have this like toughest knockout stage draw this year.
yeah. Exactly, because some of the time Real Madrid have in previous years have won the Champions League. They got some really easy games.
Yeah.
Not this time around, and
No, actually, I would say like it was probably their best performance in the Champions League this year.
I want to criticize Liverpool defense. There was almost like ball watching, uh, not covering. I mean, with all due respect to the fantastic work they've done entire season. Um,
Matip was not playing, right?
I thought he did. No.
No, it was Konate.
All right. Yeah.
We argued about this. Like so far, he is doing brilliant job, even better than Van Dijk. But still, he's not in the team.
But again, I mean, the ball cut across the goal. The ball cut across through the defense, and the defenders were basically looking at each other. Um,
It
or
was a 3v3 situation
yeah,
at the time.
yeah. But yeah, eventually, I mean, Vinicius Junior. Th- this is this is one of the players. Obviously, everyone going to talk about Benzema because of his performance, and everyone should be. But then you look at Vinicius and you look at Rodrigo. When the team needed, they chipped in with the goals and they come up as a huge player, for this Real Madrid team.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you think Benzema for Ballon d'Or?
Well, so far, yeah. I mean, is Ballon d'Or being voted until October? I guess.
It's until November, December, I guess.
So the World Cup winners may get a chance to, right?
Yeah.
So then that's why I've said, so far, uh, because there's no denying that Benzema was great, um, arguably right now the best striker in the world.
Oh, yeah. Also, like best players. If you saw uh, I think he scored 2 matches ago with France.
Yeah,
That was a brilliant goal.
yeah, yeah. No, I've seen that the defeat game against Denmark or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess.
yeah.
But yes, brilliant player. I mean, also someone like Messi praises, so you have to take him seriously. Even the players who understand the game, they're praising him. Um, and Benzema has been, I don't know. Everyone kind of thought when Cristiano left, who would step up for Madrid, and he did it ever since.
Yeah, he scored even more goals than Cristiano did since he left Real Madrid.
Yeah. No, he's been on a different level. Very good player and very confident. You can see some of the composer, like he can pause. I never saw Karim Benzema was pausing in a box, like took an extra moment and being he was composed definitely, but he didn't always take that extra second. Now because of his confidence or something, that has changed. I think he's taking more time, and he knows the right time to hit it first time, or just wait and or just give the ball to his teammates. It's a very synchronized and overall a very good player.
Yeah, also combination with Mbappe, it's one of the deadliest attacks so far.
Yeah, yeah. Let's move on from uh, your UEFA Champions League. But yeah, it's a great victory, not just only for Real Madrid, but Ancelotti. But, everyone kind of thought he just came in for a year to damage control, and then he left. But now, how can you sack who just won UEFA Champions League and league for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Also, he won the Super Copa for. Uh,
Exactly. So this guy has this guy has a longevity. In terms of top class manager, as a longevity more than a turtle, I would say. I mean, or as comparable as turtle because he's there for a long time, and he's showing no sign of getting
and
relegated
even
to second tier.
even if you remember, like this La Decima campaign, the team played completely different than this team, and he also won with like this brilliant AC Milan team, like twice in 2007 and 2003, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Both of the team actually played different way. And when he was in Chelsea, the best football Chelsea played in last 20 years was under him. Like it was so attacking. I have never seen a Chelsea team playing like that actually before or ever.
I almost think like he lets the players play and he tweaks.
Yeah,
He minimizes the error with the time, um, but he lets the players play and he likes how the team suits the playing. Uh,
and I think he knows how to like what to expect from a player and where to like. If you remember his substitutions, like all those four campaigns, like it was crucial actually. Like Rodrigo came in and changed the game. There were Di Maria.
yeah, even for this season, I mean, there's a lot of criticism for Ancelotti for at least in the
Yeah,
first half of the season. There was almost same 11 playing every game, right? And lack
yeah,
of substitution. But he slowly gave the youngsters such as Camavinga, Rodrigo, a little bit
yeah,
more game time, and they picked in the right moment for the Champions League.
yeah. Also, like in La Decima campaign, like he benched probably Mesut Ozil or sold him. I don't remember which year is that. And Di Maria was playing not as a right
So
winger or
more of an attacking midfielder. Yeah.
yeah, more of like a attacking eight or eight and a half or something like that actually, because he was carrying the ball from the whole area, like from defense to the whole left wing. So like it was shifted. It was brilliant actually, and that's a AC Milan team with all those strikers like
And Kaka, yeah,
and Kaka.
who's a
How
he was a playmaker.
how he
Yeah,
yeah, and the team was not like playing wide, playing from wide. It was playing more central.
more centrally. Pirlo
Yeah,
sitting on the uh, base and protected by Gattuso. Yeah, that was a different like. He likes that. If you ask Ancelotti, he still likes that diamond shape.
yeah.
But
Or
again,
was it the Christmas tree
the Christmas tree, I think it was
with
which
Shevchenko?
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Shevchenko, Crespo, this team.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, huge congratulations to him. I thought nobody really gives him credit what he deserves.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about Mourinho, everybody talks about Pep, everybody talks about someone else, but not enough credit was given to him. Um,
Even there were like after this Man City lost, or I guess it was lost against PSG. There were talks for bringing back Mourinho at the time.
Anyway, that's people and supporters. But moving away from
Yeah.
that, there was a game of Copa America champions and Euro champions in Wembley that was somehow not as hyped for some certain reason. In at least in media, I didn't see much hype, but it was regarded as La Finalissima, which was happened twice before in 1985, won by France versus Brazil. In
Yeah,
1993, Argentina beat Denmark in penalties, and this time around, Argentina and Italy. Did you watch the game?
yeah, I watched that actually full time.
Okay.
But yeah, but yeah, I remember something like Messi never lost a game in Wembley, so
Okay.
I was kind of counting on that. Yeah, but in on serious note, I thought like there will be something from Italy to prove or something like that, but they choose a older squad or like some there were some emotional element from the team, like Chiellini was saying goodbye to Italian national team, and I think he also said goodbye to Juventus. Um, so it was. I thought like at least there will be something from Italy, but the way Argentine midfield played and they were diving for actually literally diving for every ball. It was like one of the most intense Argentine performance I have ever seen so far.
I think I've seen better, but just first 20-25 minutes, it was kind of even, like in terms of ball
They sort of
competition.
like yeah, they sort of like desperate to get hold on that ball. Like they were not stopping unless the ball was on their feet, and it was I don't know, like it was probably this
And I
Peckerman team
think
was playing
also
like that actually.
doesn't help if your defensive midfielder is someone named Jorginho, right? He doesn't like Jorginho
Messi
doesn't have any
Messi actually
peripheral
scored
vision.
first goal.
Yeah.
It was brilliant to watch, like from Argentine perspective, but
No,
from
even for
Italian
neutral,
perspective, I was
even for
yeah.
neutral. I mean,
But I noted some players from Italian side, like probably Pacini was playing in the midfield.
Pessina.
It was like, yeah, Pacini
The
was brilliant so far, but he did
well,
not get any support from. And I was surprised to see Barella on the bench.
no, Barella
Uh,
started.
yeah, sorry, Tonali or someone else.
Tonali was a bench because they had a
Oh,
game.
Tonali was in the
They had a
yeah.
game against Germany coming up.
Oh, okay.
So I
Yeah,
was surprised with Pessina starting, Pessina and Barella with Jorginho, because Pessina, I mean, he started some game for Atlanta. He's been okay. He's not. I don't think he's still a starter, but he's
but he
someone.
played actually better football than other two midfielders.
No, fair enough. Uh, and there are certain things. I mean, there was intensity for first 20-25 minutes. It was like 50-50 kind of battle. It was there, and then all of a sudden that Argentine team took over and scored the goal, and just being a better side from Italy.
Um, uh, do you know like what gives? Because there were talks in the media like Argentine teams not often played against an European team and stuff like that, and I don't know like what does it mean or what did they mean or anything like that, and
As if Argentine players doesn't play in Europe for their leagues. Huh.
yeah, there were some talks like this. I don't know what in what categories should I play like place them like as a stupid category or I don't know
Let's put
something
them as a
else.
Kylian category because he started all this conversation because he said Brazil and Argentina are
I
not.
was going to bring that up actually.
Yeah, Brazil and
Yeah, go on.
Argentina are not in the same level because the intensity in South American qualifiers are not that great. I'm even laughing when I'm saying his quote. I think he's based on 2018 data, 2018 empirical data, which doesn't really. It's not 2018 anymore. It's 2022, and then you never played there, Killian, so you don't know. I dare you play
But
in a rainy field in Huracan and have your leg intact.
yeah, also like playing in Bolivia, it was like horrible for any players in South America, even for
Or
Pelé.
play in heat such as Barranquilla in Colombia
Mm.
or Venezuela. Good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
So
I think it was
yeah, I
childish.
don't. Yeah,
And again,
and there were
coming back to the Argentine team, or somewhat I would say same for Brazilian team. I mean, these guys can play in really. If you see the last Copa America, most of the stadiums were not prepared in Brazil after the season, and they just got the last minute chance to host a tournament, right?
yeah,
And it was bad. There was no passing game, and there are certain that environment, that stadiums, that everything, the pitches, that made them look play a worse kind of football than what it looks like. But these players always play in nicer turf, and they're used to such beautiful turf, and they're technically so good that they can play anywhere.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. Yeah, we mentioned something similar, I guess, in some episode. Like playing in South America is not like playing in like probably it was when we were started uh, like this covering the Euro and Copa America in parallelly, and nobody was giving up the attention to Copa America. And
Because it looks, can I say that word? I mean, it looks glamorous and beautiful on eyes, the Euro, because of the green surface and better maintained pitches. And even in Facebook, whoever doesn't see normal games, they start to compare Euro with Copa and saying that Euro
yeah,
plays way better football because of the pitches. I said, that's just a different environment and the pitch conditions, nothing to do with players.
also the environment in the stadium, like human environments from if you are a Brazilian playing it in Buenos Aires, it's something
Yeah,
else. And like that Argentine team played final in Maracana, it was something else.
yeah,
You cannot get that in Europe right now, at least. Like maybe in England Germany match, you will get some at
yeah,
least,
yeah, yeah,
but it's not that much. But maybe in the World Cup game, I would say.
yeah.
Other than that, I did not see that sort of intensity when I'm living still right now in Europe. Like no, not that, nada.
Another. Uh, anyway, that's but coming back to the game itself, I mean,
Yeah.
um, Messi provided the first assist for Lautaro Martinez. Lautaro, by the way,
Mm.
provided the assist for Di Maria, who had to scoop in final, and maybe the next one is World Cup final. But yeah, there's three scoop and three trophies for Di Maria and Argentina, and then uh, I'm counting the Olympics as well as Copa America and these laughing
Yeah,
marks.
I remember.
And then I yeah, and then Di Maria is 34. The moment he was racing against
Don't you think?
Chiellini,
Yeah, don't you think that pass from Messi in 2014, if it's Di Maria, it could have get in like the one Neuer came in and
I would put more trust on Di Maria than Higuain, right? But
yeah. Yeah, but what's gone is gone. But where do you put Argentina right now? Like there were talks before that, and there
well,
were
Luis
talks.
Enrique today said it's more of a tongue in cheek because Luis Enrique commented after this 3-0 win against Italy. Let's not get crazy about them. And then today it was asked. He said he would put them as one of the top favorite, along with Brazil. Because if he doesn't say that, the Brazilian media would come and attack him. But in all honesty, I think this is after a long time the South American teams are going fairly strong in World Cup. All of them
Mm.
actually. I would include even Ecuador. Lot of people are sleeping on them. They're young, vibrant team. Uruguay looks very, I mean, positive.
There are few new players
And new players, new
to
manager
mark. New
Diego Alonso
managers,
came in,
yeah, of
and
course.
yeah,
And
exactly. And this team
now,
is not easy to play against now.
yeah,
The
exactly.
Uruguay.
Also, like they are playing in different shapes. So yeah, in 6 months of time, they will be there. I would say. Couldn't make.
There was already question mark on striker. Now there is Darwin Nunes.
Yeah,
There is Leal Estaceta. Then you have backup as Cavani and Suarez. Uh,
Suarez, yeah.
and the midfielders such as Valverde, Bentancur. It's not a bad side at all.
No, not
Uruguay,
at all.
and the manager has changed as well, and it's a good side, and they've just beaten.
Also, defensively, they're always solid, but right now like they were conceding a lot of goals in the first half of the
Yes,
qualifying, and now
4-0 loss versus Argentina. Is it 5-1
no,
versus Brazil? I think that was the.
yeah, it was 5-1. Like they conceded like 9 goal or 10 probably in 3 matches.
Yeah. So anyway, Uruguay is going really strong. A lot of people are sleeping on them, and also I think Argentina Brazil has to be contender.
Yeah, also, but the problem is that like their group is strong. Uruguay's.
Uh, is it? They're playing South Korea, right?
Yeah, South Korea and Portugal.
You kind of expect them to. Okay, let's put Portugal away. Then they have to play. Who is it? Egypt? No, not Egypt. No, Egypt is not even in the World Cup, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
someone else I forgot actually.
let me just double check that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks like a Ghana. So Ghana was beaten by
mm,
Japan 4-1 yesterday.
yeah.
I'm not saying Ghana is a weak team, but it's not as strong as well.
Ghana actually shouldn't be in the World Cup. They managed somehow, I would say.
Yeah, thanks to
But
this
yeah, other than this,
Nigerian
I
team.
think that this group is too tough to predict. Actually, even South Korea could come back, even though they performed a little bit poorly against Brazil and some other matches. But still,
Yeah, no, I agree. So coming to this, uh, I think coming back to Argentina's chances, I think there
mm,
a lot of people are saying names like France. Obviously, Brazil has to be there, and then you have Spain, um, England, Germany, Belgium. I don't know. Uh,
yeah. But other than England, well, other than Germany, those names you mentioned so far, they perform really poorly in the Nations Leagues in the recent
yeah,
history.
and every team I see, there is no such like head and shoulder favorite. And you have to remember regarding France, manager is still Didier Deschamps,
Yeah.
and there's a Champions curse on them. Uh,
Yeah. Also, uh, yeah, everyone is saying England is a favorite team, but because of those two managers, those teams are I don't trust those teams actually.
it is depressing to see England.
Yeah,
Like anyone can
exactly.
go depressed by seeing England play, and these players playing in the Premier League and how they're performing in England. It is utterly depressing. I mean, I don't know. Uh, I, if you were ask me, I think Austria right now under Ralf Ragnick is playing way better football than England. Uh, or Denmark. Denmark, I've been really impressed with the way they've played.
Denmark is in the top of the group probably, as of I remember.
Yeah, if everyone is top of the group except France.
Yeah,
France is in the bottom. Um,
They did not win a single game so far.
yeah,
They
so
drew two games and that's it.
yeah,
Croatia was like with 4 points, like 2 points ahead of them, and Austria is like same. But
but
Denmark is
but we have to be careful about it. It's normally World Cup would have started around this time, actually, by today's date.
yeah.
Uh, um, but World Cup is still around 5 6 months away, and there is a lot of things can happen on certain month because it's a month old tournament. But what was interesting in Argentina game, if I go back, I mean, obviously
Mm.
Dybala got what 3 4 minutes.
He
Uh,
managed to score one.
yeah, he scored one, and somehow he looked to be in good understanding with Messi, and that struck me from this time around. Whatever I've seen from in Argentina, then they played against Estonia. I thought that that partnership can work. Um,
I think it's because of the uh, Messi's current position, also his relative position, Dybala's relative positions with Messi.
yeah,
Is if you remember this goal, he was sort of like shadowing Messi, like back and forth. That, which is supposed to like if you
yeah,
think like similar players who can actually shadow each other to make confusion with, in the center back, to give some space the other striker, and which is actually happening. And the shot was taken by Messi. It was blocked, and then Dybala actually was like right behind him, and he just shoot and
yeah.
scored.
It was a good goal for him, especially. I mean that little performance could see him, and given his form in the World Cup team, because we were kind of doubtful if he's gonna make it. There is still doubt.
But yeah, like you were actually never you were making some sort of points with Argentina. Uh,
Yeah, no, I thought with Argentina, this European media have seen them in in Wembley. They have not actually looked at the games of South America or whatever they're doing. I think they've taken a bit of notice on with them. I think this Argentine team is very strong. There's some weakness, definitely. You still have Otamendi starting as your center back. That's a big weakness. You have arguably, I mean, I'm still doubtful about backup of Lautaro Martinez. Yes, Alvarez is there, but I don't know why Joaquin Correa has been not really. He looks really not confident at all.
I think it's because he was not playing as much game with Inter. But if you remember, at the end of the season, he was playing more regularly and he
Yeah,
was
in a
fairly
good touch.
confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you think like there should be another one like Giovanni Simeone or someone else?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that. Either because Scaloni somehow likes the Bayer Leverkusen striker Lucas Alario. Now he's going to move.
Mm.
Is he moved or moving to Einhurst Frankfurt? Uh, I think Alario is more dynamic player and more of a talented scorer. But
But
Simeone is
but
also suits the style of this Argentine team.
Lautaro is also dynamic. But in a World Cup game, you sometimes need someone who can do things differently.
Yes, and
No,
that's why I'm
like
thinking maybe Alario, because he gives something fairly different than what they have right now.
okay. And few months back, if I remember that like right now, you mentioned the injury of Paredes. He was not going to be played this match. And you mentioned, if you remember, that the coach should take a gamble with Enzo Fernandez in that
Yeah,
position.
yeah, yeah. No,
Uh,
right
did
now,
you
it
sub
it
like
doesn't look like he. It looks like there is a. there's a very packed midfielders out there, and as much as I
Were
like
you
Enzo,
surprised not to see him, or because most of the teams are like even they are playing like players from the Italian league, mostly actually.
yeah, that is true. Either Italian or Spanish league. I think right now this Argentine team, they're so well drilled. We have mentioned about it even in our previous podcasts that
Mm.
if you take out one player, there is another player who's ready, and you wouldn't even notice. Say for example, Acuna is one of the finest left back in La Liga. He was missing. Tagliafico came back and gave similar kind of performance. You wouldn't even notice Acuna was not playing, or even in a situation Guido Rodriguez played in a same position but a different role than Paredes. Paredes is more kind of advanced, kind of more passes are start to come from him. I think Guido was not given that much of independence. He was asked to block and plug in on the area, and Rodrigo de Paul was asked to not go as far as wide right, and to cover Guido as much as possible centrally, to just ahead of him. And Molina was given the chance to move Molina and Di Maria. So there was a slightly different tactics. I thought it was more similar to the Copa America final that Argentina played against Brazil. Uh, more centrally packed, and then you have this right wing back, and Di Maria would dominate on the right hand side with Di Paul come and help as spearman. Uh, but you see this Argentina team. What I was trying to say is that almost everyone except the goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, and
What
the
about right backs?
and the striker. Right back, you can have a different right back. I mean, right now Montiel is one of the fine right backs in the La Liga, and he played very well for Sevilla. He's not even having a sniff because of Molina, uh, but he's good enough. Um, or you have Juan Foyth, who played as a right back in semi-final of Champions League against Liverpool in Villarreal. You have him as well. So there is at least one players who can replace any other, and you wouldn't even know the
Yeah,
difference. And if Dybala is in good form, you can even replace Messi. Maybe not the same team or same way,
yeah,
or even Papu Gomez. You can replace Messi.
yeah,
It may sound like crazy. Like how can you replace Messi? You cannot replace him Messi with the Messi attribute, but you can replace a playmaker role.
yeah.
Um,
Actually, few players can play the same role. Like they could have rotated.
yeah, yeah.
Like Lo Celso can play the role
Yeah, Palacios,
Dybala played before.
you can put him any of the three position he can play.
Yeah,
Nico Dominguez were before his shoulder operation, he was playing at a high level that Atletico Madrid
yeah,
wanted him as a defensive midfielder, right? He's also not on that final cut of the team. Now they're trying McAllister on
yeah.
that role,
I saw.
and that was because somehow he
But
looked
he was having a brilliant season with
Brighton.
Brighton, right? Yeah,
Yeah, he's dynamic player. He can play
yeah.
in different position. Has intelligence as well. So
And Lanzini not even in the conversation of these two positions.
no, because look, if Lo Celso is not playing on that position. Say for example, the way Papu Gomez and Messi connects. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm kind of arguing why Papu is not even starting as a main player. So there's a lot of players, and except Emi Martinez, who's not replaceable, and probably right now Lautaro Martinez, the
yeah.
striker, the number nine. You don't have,
He already scored probably 21 goals. I don't know.
yeah. But without these two, top and bottom of the field, both Martinez, I don't think you have a player I mean, you have a replacement somehow ready, and that's the depth of Argentine team at this point. But I would like to see more of Lisandro Martinez than Petzela personally. Um, but it's okay, I guess.
Lisandro Martinez, like every time I watch him play, it feels like whenever he has the ball on his feet, like he's like I don't know, like his body position is so open, like he can pass anywhere.
He's a
Like that's
technically
the
very
feeling.
good player, very
Yeah,
good player.
like when he received the ball, like his body position is like so open. Like I don't remember which player he reminds me of, like this with this like body position. But
It almost, I mean, it's a very different player, but you have it in Thiago Alcantara, you have it on Javi Hernandez, the
yeah,
and you had it in Pep Guardiola in his playing time. Um, it kind of opens up a lot of avenue uh, when the passes start to flow in. Um, but that's my only argument is that Otamendi is still, I mean, in certain games he's a liability, and you cannot leave him one on one against any striker.
yeah.
Whereas you can leave Lisandro one on one against such as Haaland. He played well against Haaland too in Champions League.
And like with Romero right now, how he's playing these days, we discussed about it when we were talking about Spurs. Um, I think it's the main guy in this defense so
Oh
far.
yeah, he becomes instantly the main guy. Even if this La Finalissima, if you remember, one ball
Mhm.
was missing and he kept back and he
Yeah,
covered almost at the last moment and considered a corner. But yeah, that looks like a very different animal at this point.
yeah, true.
So that's why I guess Otamendi looks even better because of Romero.
Yeah, true. Uh, like, can we move on from Argentina? Like,
Yes, let's
uh,
let's move it to some of the we partially talked about some of the Nations League game. Who
yeah,
who do you find from European side, that really attracted your eyes?
like right now or from
Yeah,
for the World Cup or
or whatever you saw
oh,
that Nations League.
okay.
So yeah, let me ask this question again. Who do you think, from whatever you've seen from the Nations League in Europe, that you think, okay, this team looks better or good at this point?
For the World Cup, right?
Yeah, at least trending towards the World Cup. Yes.
Actually, none of them. But I and yeah, it's true. None of them are actually like
Actually,
impressed me so
what
far.
about Netherlands? They look at it.
I was going to get back actually that there. Um, the, well, the problem is that like I have some sort of like a sympathy for those big names so far, even though they don't impress me because some of those players they have a really long season. Um, like players from England, Germany, they had actually. But yeah, like I was going to mention Netherlands because nobody was mentioning them. This midfield, especially, they are like kind of solid. Like with Frankie De Jong sitting as a six, it was unbelievable to like. How can I say like? Um, it was impossible for any team to take ball from them, and when they whenever they get the ball they seems like is going to do something.
Hmm.
And what's his name, like Bargwin or something.
Hmm. Bergwijn, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, whenever he's playing, I don't see Wijnaldum is going to be in the final 11 so far.
No, he shouldn't be.
Yeah, and he should be in the Euro. Uh, Whenever he was playing, it feels like he has some sort of a telepathic connection with Depay or someone else.
And yeah, someone like Memphis Depay looks to be in really good touch. I mean, he likes the responsibility of being the leader, I guess.
Yeah, of course, like what he did in the beginning of the season with
Yeah,
Barcelona. Whenever he had the responsibility, it seems he's playing well. Um, and I think he was the star of this team so far. And whoever performs, even like uh, Van Dijk was uh, taken a holiday because of his injury. I think it was 9 months ago he did surgery, and he was playing, I guess, more than 50 matches this season. So he took a break from the national team, but still this defense looks solid so far.
yeah, that's some work is going on definitely with Louis van Gaal.
Yeah, and the thing is that I think Germany has solved the center back problem so far. There were a
Yeah,
few names, and I think at least like there are at least two guys who can actually pairing with Rudiger, and there were a few names actually in the pipelines. Like I think it was Koch who was playing for Leeds. He's not even performing, not in the team, but still like he's one of these guy who can actually make it in the next 6 months. But like those guys are like around the national team, but then like other guys like probably they played Klosterman. He was brilliant so far. Um, but I don't know like who will be the other guy, and it seems like three in the back is their thing right now, and Kimmich in the middle. I would say more destructive than Kimmich in the right side because he can read the game. He was one of those brain, like who can like we probably had criticism when Germany left out of Euro, like Kimmich was playing in the wing as a wing back, and he was out of the game. And as it seems like whenever he was in the middle, and it seems more like
yeah,
he can control more, like more of this
he's
like
more
tempo and
involved. Yeah,
yeah, more involved. And if, you want those players like involved. And I don't know like where will Musiala is going to play, uh, but
yeah,
it would be an interesting addition for this team,
yeah.
or as a substitute or as a super sub. It would be brilliant.
But what I've noticed is Timo Werner is a way better player for Germany than Chelsea.
Well, isn't like weren't all German strikers are like that so far,
Or,
except for Gerd Muller,
or
I guess.
Klinsmann. Klinsmann was good for Inter Milan too.
Yeah,
Uh,
but Klinsmann is a different case. Like,
yeah, but yeah, I've seen that game and it was one of the most boring game, Germany versus England. Well, anything regarding England, I guess you can tell that.
nothing. Actually, Germany played better football than England, and
But still,
England managed.
Germany, I don't know. And the more I look at Spain, it's all about midfield. There's a little bit of problem in the back line. There's a lot of problem in the front. Um,
Actually, that Spain backline overperformed. Like Eric Garcia was probably form of his life
yeah,
in Euro or in the Nations League so far. But right now, well, it would be wise to call back uh,
Sergio
Sergio
Ramos.
Ramos. Yeah, if he's some sort of in a playing position or condition or something like that. But I don't see anyone else. Or probably Espilicueta is playing in the inside
Mhm, mhm.
because they only have problems in the center back position, and Jesus Navas is doing who could done this job like what
Yeah,
Espilicueta is doing in the as a right back. So like
exactly.
it would be wise to include him. He can play as a left center back as well. So It seems like that position is a bit of a problem. But whenever Pau Torres was playing, it was okay.
I mean, they could have even called him Nacho. Nacho is normally very reliable. I mean, he's not pacey, but he's a
Utility guy.
yeah reliable. I mean, backup, good backup guy.
Yeah,
Uh,
but what I don't understand, like, so right now how they're using Rodri and Busquets,
Busquets, yeah,
um, yeah, because they're basically the same player. I don't see
yeah, it's
any.
a clone,
It's like a clone, like
and that's not a double number 10 like we talked about Messi and Dybala.
yeah,
It's a
sort of like that
five. It's a
actually.
five.
Yeah,
Why you need two fives? And Busquets have been great. Just to mention because you mentioned about
yeah.
Busquets,
So does Rodri,
Rodri. Yeah,
but
I think
they,
that's maybe the case. Both of
yeah.
the guys are great. So why don't have
Yeah,
both?
that's maybe the case actually. Also, it seems like creatively, whenever Pedri was not there, there weren't any sort of like a creative addition,
Yeah.
and for some reason, Enrique doesn't call Thiago Alcantara. He doesn't involve him in big matches or anywhere. It seems like he yeah, most of the time he actually substitute. Um Koke in or someone else other than Alcantara, but this guy can actually control the uh, whole tempo of the game, and also I think he could actually be uh, linked with Ferran Torres, who was like what he is so far.
So any other team? What about France?
Mm.
Why they're not even winning a game?
Well, I
Are,
don't know.
are everyone kind of over
We
confident
should
about?
have a French discourse or something like that episode.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, given their squad right now, it seems like there are certain players like what they the transitioning zone, like the transitioning of this midfield, especially, is not like as smooth as other clubs or other nations than as that in for France right now, because whenever Deschamps changed the team, he changed the whole like
Setup.
midfield, whole setup. That's the problem actually with France. Like he's like, okay, I have all those guys, like all those abilities, and he's not like that. What we mentioned before with Ancelotti, Ancelotti would have do it actually differently and get some sort of result, and make there were players like who was in the bench like Kamara or some other players, but Telemann, and I would say
Yeah,
Aurelian or something.
yeah, yeah.
I forgot his name.
Rabiot started.
Yeah, Rabiot. eh, Awful. I don't know like why he played with Rabiot. But the problem is that like whenever it's like he wants to make a change, he makes it so drastically. These players are not even like in the same vibe or anything like. So that's the problems with these bumps in the road. If he makes like some guys like, okay, you are going to play in the World Cup, and like they have brilliant players like Conte. You can make a midfield around Conte. You can make a center back position and like tell this guy, okay, you are going to lead this back line. They have players like so many players they can do that same job. Um, for attack, I don't see anything to say for Benzema and Mbappe. They would
Yeah,
have done the
maybe Griezmann,
done the.
who couldn't score in 22 games.
I would I would love to see more Dembele in this team
Yeah,
than
so
Griezmann.
maybe then Griezmann. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, and I wouldn't actually how can I say like yeah, probably zero also as
Yeah,
What he
no,
did
it's
with AC Milan, yeah,
exactly.
what
Is
he
it
did
gonna?
with AC Milan is like almost same a similar thing Benzema did with Real Madrid.
Yeah,
AC Milan has won uh, first of their I don't know
yeah, 10, 11 years, I guess.
10 11 years, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but yeah, you're right. I mean, look at those high great names of the nations that didn't look as good or as prepared, or I don't know if they have not taken uh, the Nations League seriously, or they couldn't play it seriously. I thought I like Denmark, whatever I've seen from them. Um, Belgium was rubbish in first game. Second game they thrashed Poland. Uh, I have to mention this guy's name, Tozard. He's good. He's a very good
yeah.
player. Um, such a and also good to see Eden Hazard back in football pitch because he's mostly spending time um, in the touchline.
I want to mention like but for only for Nations League, like Italian team bring back Bastoni as a main center back or HRB as main center back against Germany. Pellegrini was in the main team. Tonali Frattesi was there, like surprisingly,
Hmm.
and Cristante
Yeah.
was replacing Jorginho. Like, do you see this team going somewhere like in the there will be another Euro in like 2 years.
Hard to say. I mean, they might be if they can develop something. Um, Cristante, I mean, these players are more of a capable player, not as great. I mean, you have Verratti whenever he's fit, and you have different players around. Let's see. But Italian team actually they looked out of sorts against Argentina, but after that they've turned it back to their. Um, I mean, good to see Spinazzola back again.
Yeah.
Um, but there's
For us, he was probably the player of the
tournament for the
tournament.
Euro.
Yeah, in
Um,
Euro.
but no, I mean Italy has a good chance. So that's major thing. I mean in Europe, whatever I'm saying, it's not a head and shoulder favorite. Anyone, almost everyone is in the similar, um, in the same line. Uh,
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like
and
why
that is why it's the first time
I
happening
think
for so long.
you asked me that question because of that actually.
Yeah,
Like you mentioned the teams from Copa South Americas and how they're doing right now and compared to the Euro Euro teams.
yeah.
I think yeah okay
Even as we mentioned, after Rafinha and Anthony
yeah
being introduced into the teachers team, that looked very good. The Brazilian team started to click together, and then you have Vinicius. Now, without Anthony, they don't have as much flair. I still have Anthony as the flair guy.
yeah
Rafinha does really well. He's a very good player, very good player. My only problem is still there's a lot of centrally they're more dependent on Neymar, and if Neymar is blocked somehow, they struggle, and
I,
that's
y-
happened against Japan.
yeah that's the thing actually. For some reason, Neymar Paqueta this
Too.
how can I say this links was broken. Vinicius was running on his own in the side, and there were there if those teams actually blocked those positions, and there weren't any like fluidity or any sort of like alternative links from the team, and that's why I was going to ask you a question like
Brazil
Fred
has a
Casemiro.
Brazil has a better individual in the team,
Yeah,
but
of
it's not
course.
still a team.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was asking like is it wise to play like with two in the two double pivot, like a double pivot in the middle for Brazil.
He likes it. Tite, whatever we've seen him from 2018 or even 2016, he likes
But
it.
is it because of pace? Because against Japan they play with Eder Militao and Marquinhos.
Yeah, I think
But
it was, or maybe just coincidence, because I don't think they do watch Japan a lot. That's just my understanding. Just a coincidence that Militao and Marquinhos were playing, but then they have other, what is the Arsenal centre back's name? The left-footed.
Gabriel.
Yes, Gabriel. He's an option. Um,
But you forgot to mention Diego Carlos, who's probably the best Brazilian defender right now. And he's not even in the
team,
squad.
yeah, because
Yeah,
of, I think,
Thiago Silva was there.
yeah, no, he's there. Is there? I had a Twitter conversation regarding same thing about Diego Carlos with the legendary Team Victory, who's way more experienced about Brazilian football, and he saw Brazilian team, and he mentioned something that I'm just quoting Tim here. He mentioned that Diego Carlos had his chance in Olympics and he didn't take it well, and then now because of the right-footed centre back, there are others who are ahead, such as Marquinhos, Eder Militao, and
But funny
Thiago's.
thing is that Diego Carlos was playing on the left, if you remember.
Yeah, he did, and that's, I guess, Tim's argument was Gabriel was preferred ahead of um, Carlos because of his passing ability and being a left-footed player, which makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, that's true. But at least, like, it's so insane to see Diego Silva still playing for this team, and Fred is still playing. Fred seems to doing like okay. I don't know. Like
Fred,
there's this question like if you want to play with double pivot, why wouldn't be Casemiro and Fabinho? Fabinho is probably the best there is in Brazil right now in this position, like as a single pivot.
I,
Or why isn't it like a 4-3-3? I don't know because because with these players like there is another one from Newcastle, this brilliant Brazilian guy.
yeah,
I really loved him playing Bruno
go, yeah,
Gilmares or Guimares or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It's so good, right? That's
Yeah, he's so
that's
good,
that's the other problem with
and
Brazil.
he's like he can play actually as a five, six or as a eight.
Yeah, that's the other problem with Brazil. There's too many of them, like in certain positions, right?
Yeah.
Whoever is preferred is someone different because they've been given chance and they've been trusted by the system of Tite, and then. But I'm going to come back. I think there is still a little bit of, because Paqueta, if I'm not wrong, against South Korea was played in left wing, or right wing, and he did fairly well because he's a creative player and he has a very good understanding with Neymar and how they interchange. But against Japan, those links were broken, and
Yeah, it's because of faster midfielder and faster center backs. They can easily cut those channels. Like with Neymar,
and
Neymar
also just to
actually slows
mention
the
that
game down.
those two were not Japan's first choice center backs, though. I
Yeah,
mean, they
yeah,
were
that's true.
injured or something.
Yeah,
But a lot of people are sleeping on Japan team, uh, and whoever has not seen them should watch them because this team can surprise a lot of people. But coming back to the Brazilian, how should I put it? The abundance of choice they have, the amount of players they have. It's really hard. It's a hard job to get the maximum, optimum best out as a team. Uh, and if those Neymar Paqueta links been broken, um, you have Vinicius Junior. Vinicius is playing well, but I don't see the linking of Benzema and Vinicius in Real Madrid in Brazilian setup yet. Um,
I think he can link with uh, Gabriel Jesus more than he can link with
Yeah,
Neymar.
or Firmino,
Um,
someone like Firmino. You
or
need
Firmino,
you
yeah,
almost need a Firmino, right?
yeah,
On that area. Um, and that's another interesting name you mentioned, Gabriel Jesus. Where do you play him? He can play here, he can play there, but there seems to be he lost his place. And then I mean there's so much competition right now. With Anthony is there. There's Martinelli. There is
Martinelli, yeah,
there is
Vinicius,
there's a
um,
Rafinha. You have to play Rafinha.
Rafinha, yeah, of course.
So
But in the right wings, um, I don't know. Like, I love Anthony. I
me too.
Yeah, he's playing for Ajax so far. I think, but still think Rafinha is sort of a safe choice. I would say.
And the other part, which I don't want to say, I mean, Coutinho came and grabbed 2 goals, right? Uh, and that's the most unfortunate thing Brazil can have because somehow there's a chance if he didn't perform well and he was substitute, right? He could have been dropped in the next, and nobody would have noticed. Now you cannot drop Coutinho again. Um, I think
That's why.
there's a bit of
That's
imbalance.
Yeah, and one of the other thing, like um, since probably the last World Cup, the lost after lost against Belgium, Brazil lost only one game,
Copa America final.
Copa America final. But the problem was this team. Uh, uh, 2 years before this Copa America final last year, like in 2019, probably, right, or 18, 19, right, 19 Copa America.
But can I interrupt you?
Yeah,
I mean, yes, you're right. Statistically, they've lost one big game against.
yeah.
But
Let me
yeah. Go
make the
go ahead.
point, because that team who won the Copa America 2019
Hmm.
is not the same team as Copa America 2021,
Hmm.
and now whatever this team playing
Yeah,
right now.
it's a very different team than the last Copa team.
Yeah, but problem is that they have players right now, but all those four teams, even like if you count the World Cup as well, all these
Four
one,
versions of 14. Yeah.
two, four, yeah, four versions of four team. They seems to miss a shape, like a defensive shape, or whenever they are trying to create something, they are missing this shape, and they're trying to overcome with like individual performance. But sometimes you can actually make those sacrifice, like sometimes you can make a queen sacrifice to make things work.
Yeah, and
So
that's going to be a big thing.
that's the problem. That's the problem actually. Like that's the problem I was going to mention. Like,
And still, Dani
uh,
Alves started.
yeah, exactly. And what about the other left back, Ekana or Ekana? I forgot what's his name.
Anyway, I'm not going into that, but there's that wing backs are the issue, and then if you still have Thiago Silva, that's an issue, and also you cannot overload the double five, and that's why TJ has double five now. Because of the attacking half, they can get outnumbered,
Yeah.
sometimes imbalanced, and to overcompensate that, you have two number five as a very good idealistic way of blocking. But would it work? I don't know. And Fred is more kind of mobile, so I think Fred is preferred because he can go and link up to the other players in the attack half and come back and join and block. But Fred have improved a lot over the last season. The more I've seen Man United games,
Yeah.
he's one of the hardworking players, right? But still, his some of the game and some of the decision making can be questionable. But he has done a very good job over the year in Man United.
Yeah, so far, but why not Fabinho?
Uh, I think that he was Fabinho or Casemiro doesn't have the same creative side or linkage side as Fred. That's
Yeah,
let's
but
put it this way.
if you are playing Casemiro as a creative guy from the back, you need a how can I say Fabinho to close those things down. And
No, I'm a fan of Fabinho. I would even argue that maybe bench Casemiro, which sounds crazy, but bench Casemiro. But
it's not possible, probably. I don't know. Yeah, but that's the problems with Brazil team. Like they still
and also
don't
I have question mark on
have this signature.
Marquinhos.
Yeah,
Um,
we mentioned that actually
yeah, and that's the same
with
same argument
PSG. Yeah.
argument I was having with Tim in Twitter. But yeah, Bra- Brazil can be in paper. Obviously, the names are way stronger, but can they play football that is more balanced as a team? That's going to be the challenge in the World Cup.
Also, also whenever they concede a goal for some reason,
They get
like if you see,
emotionally, yeah,
they get emotional pluses. They there aren't any sort of like a contingency plan. If you remember the final last 30 minutes, Tite basically was throwing strikers in the front.
yeah.
There wasn't any like Argentines were like just blocking those
And
things.
he still does that. Tite still
Yeah,
throws strikers out there, such as Gabriel Jesus. You can argue he played wide. Okay, he was put there. You have uh, you have wingers such as Richarlison, Martinelli. You have Rafinha and stuff like that. But some of them really comes from a wider position to the inside and just overpopulate the area. And if you remember, Neymar does operate in the same area. So any team that dips, sitting deep and having a very core protected area
yeah,
would be very easy to play against Brazil attacking players.
yeah. Also, it sometimes reminds me of this Maradona team, uh, 2010. Like there were eight forwards and no balance actually in the team.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I think we were talking for a long time and we've covered
Yeah,
a lot of
super.
topics. Anything else we want to add? If you want to know about Canada, our team had a bit of issue with the association regarding payment stuff. That's why,
Mm.
and there was a little bit of controversy over game against Iran. There was a one game arranged against Iran, and there was a local press problems. I mean, question marks why we're playing Iran and stuff like that. So that game got cancelled. The next game was against Panama, and there was this strike of players who were looking to get more payment for not just for men's team, for women's team as well. They were on strike, and the association didn't really want to pay for certain reason. Anyway, that got solved over the over the few days, but both games were not done. And then there was a game versus Curacao, which Canada won 4-0, but that's not a very against a very strong team. But good to see Alfonso Davies back with couple goals. But that's about it regarding Canada. We could have seen three matches. We just saw one matches, and I also want to cover. Um, I saw the game UAE versus Australia. UAE were far better side. But there's this
I think
left wing
we.
back. He
Mm,
was showboating a lot, and he costed the game for UAE. And Australia was better as a team and came back well. Now Australia will play against Peru um, this Monday on the spot for World Cup. And I also wanted to mention that Wales have uh,
yeah.
have qualified for the World Cup.
Also, Barca. I wanted to mention a little bit about Barca Femeni. Like I have been,
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. Please.
yeah, I have been watching their games so far the whole season. They lost only one game, and it was in the Champions League final. They did not win that treble, but like only one game lost in a
Yeah,
season, and
exactly. Still a
they win
great.
every game. Like not even draw.
I
They
should
won
not
every
say
game.
when win. They win by huge margin.
Yeah. So I don't know like what to say about this team, but it was so unfortunate to see they lost
Lost
against
one
Olympic
against
Lyon.
Olympic Lyon. Yeah.
Yeah. But Leo was play way better team. Like for some reason in that match, and it did not click.
Yeah, it's certain games. That's why it's knockout, and certain games, that certain teams clicks. Um, but anyway,
But where do you put them? Put them like in the history,
in
like
Barca Femeni team,
yeah.
uh, to me, I don't know if any other female team has have this record for that long. I'd be ignorant to be honest if I say no.
Like no team ever owned like 30 league matches, like
And
all
also the
league
style
matches.
of it.
Yeah,
It almost looked like whenever they're playing a different sports than others. Um, so
yeah,
yeah, it's unparalleled. I think one of the historic teams, definitely. Still, I mean, they're still currently playing, and one of the historic teams. Very very pleasing. I mean, very eye pleasing team.
true. Um, Anything else to mention?
No, that's what I was going to say. That we can talk about a lot about transfers in the coming weeks or something.
Yeah,
But
but it's upcoming, and most of them are like rumors, I guess.
well, except the Lukaku. Lukaku doesn't want to stay in the Chelsea team.
And Inter doesn't want him. Super. And probably every player in the transfer market who are, I don't know, a free agent is linked with Barcelona. So I don't know. I don't know how
I
many they
like.
will buy.
Um, can I share a joke? It's almost like in where we grew up, Bangladesh, right? There are certain
Yeah,
guys who likes to flirt with every free women available uh, uh, in the area or in the university campus. I feel like Barcelona is that. Like everyone has been promised. Nobody, nobody goes into a commitment, or he cannot afford it, right? Uh, so anytime I listen about Barcelona and rumors, and the rumor doesn't stop, and each day it gets
yeah. Every
ridiculous
day,
and ridiculous and ridiculous, even more ridiculous. So
every day there are different names.
I must say the is it Mundo, is it Spanish newspapers and Catalan newspapers are doing fantastic jobs to keep them relevant, but they're in a really really dire situation financially. That's why they're selling Frankie de Jong.
Yeah. Also, still, I think there was a head-to-head going on between Laporta and CBC, and he probably denied them. And they actually need 30 million by the end of this month. Sorry, 500 million, I guess, by the end of
I think
June.
I think the
June or
ratio
July.
is 4:1. So if
Yeah,
they have to spend $1, they have to make sure they have $4 coming in
yeah,
from somewhere else, which is
yeah.
a ridiculous amount. Uh,
And from that CBC deal, they could have actually get like 275 million. So like it would be half, like
but then the
100.
Super League dream has to be buried. That's why he's not agreeing.
But it's already buried, right? Yeah, nobody's
Well, you
right now.
never know. Some dreams are never buried. Laporta is like chasing your dream, whatever dream is. Just chase your dream.
Okay.
But on that note, it's the episode is getting more ridiculous, like Barcelona transfer rumors. On that note, I guess we can close
Yeah, conclude for today.
for today, and hopefully,
Yeah,
if we both are alive next week, we'll talk about more rumors.
yeah.
Okay. On that note, if anyone is watching or listening, please like, share, and comment. And if you would like to participate, just share any questions or any kind of thoughts. Would like to answer them in any language. Um, any
Any
Indian
language.
in any
Both of
language.
them.
We'll have that. We'll have that Google Translator. Uh, but any final thought, Shudipta?
Not much actually.
Okay, thank you for that.